Hey guys, welcome back to Gardens and Grace. For those of you that don't know me yet, my name is Tasha, and I'm going to be trying an experiment in my garden when it comes to mulch. So I like to mulch my garden beds to kind of prevent weeds and to help retain moisture in the soil. I don't want to have to water every single day, and mulch helps me have to water less throughout the season, especially during the heat of the summer. It keeps the soil cooler and it helps to suppress weeds. Now, normally I like to use straw in my garden, but this year I have been battling wheat seeds, and I know that it came from the straw that I got. So I got some straw and it was just riddled with wheat seeds. I'm also having a hard time sourcing straw in my area, and with the worries of things like grazon being on the wheat straw that we get, I decided I just don't want to have to deal with that. So I've been looking for different mulch options. If you've been on any of my garden tours, you know that right now I have a lot of pine straw where most of my annual vegetables and fruits are growing. But I don't really like pine straw. I don't like the way that it feels. I have to cut the pine straw to be able to use it, and it's kind of hard to work with. So I have another idea for a mulch that I want to try today. Now, full disclosure, I have no idea how this is going to work. I don't know if this is going to be great or if it's going to be terrible. My hypothesis is this will be a decent mulch that helps to suppress weeds, stays in place, and retains a lot of moisture. But you're gonna have to stay tuned through the growing season to find out how this goes. And I'll be very transparent as we go through it. This may be a great thing. It may be a great mulch that I use forever, or it may be a complete and total bust. So I'm just giving you the forewarning that I don't know how this is gonna go. But I've been using pine shavings in my chicken coop, and I know that it's really absorbent. I also like the smell of it. So I thought, I wonder what kind of mulch pine shavings would be. Now, I use a flake pine in my chickens' like actual coop area, and then I use the fine pine shavings in their run. And my idea is to mix the two of those together, because I feel like if I just use the flakes, it's gonna cover the area a little better, but I'm worried that it's so light that it may fly away. So adding in the pine shavings, the fine pine shavings, I'm hoping will keep the mulch in place. So we're gonna try that. Now, a quick tip to know is anytime you mix wood into your soil, wood is high in carbon. And if I was to mix this directly into the soil and get it worked into the soil, it's gonna rob the soil of nitrogen while it breaks down. So I wanna make sure that using these pine shavings in my garden, I'm keeping them on the surface of the soil level and not digging them into the soil. So I'm gonna use this on a bed that's already planted out. I'm gonna use it on my herb bed, and we're gonna see how that goes. Like I said, just an experiment that we're trying. So we're gonna see throughout the growing season how this goes. The ratio I'm gonna use is a 1-to-1. So I'm gonna use half of the fine pine shavings and half of the flake pine. So I'm gonna start, I think I'm gonna start putting the flakes on the bottom. I think it'll mix a little better if I use those. I got both of these bags at Tractor Supply, my local Tractor Supply store, and they were $7 a piece. Now, there's a lot in these bags. I'm not even using a quarter of the bag doing this. And I'm just gonna kind of mix it in. Doesn't have to be perfect, but you know, as I'm looking at it, I'm kind of thinking that the fine pine shavings alone would have probably been sufficient. So you probably just could use a bag of the fine pine shavings if you wanted to in your garden. But I already have the flakes in here. It's not gonna hurt anything. It's really sticking to my gloves. I'm gonna take this to the herb bed and I'm just gonna layer it in. I'll show you that. And I'm just gonna layer it around the things that are already planted in here. I probably would not want to use this if I was starting seeds in this space, just because I wouldn't want to get it mixed into the soil. But I already have transplants in here. We did a video on that a couple of days ago. I planted these in this space. So I'm just gonna add this around those transplants I put in a few days ago. I have some weeds already germinating in here. Let's pull those out as we go. I feel like this is gonna stay pretty well. As I'm working with it, it's really sticking to my gloves. And apparently to my clothes. All right, so I used a little over half of this garden cart to cover that area. I think it had pretty good coverage. I'm gonna go ahead and water this in and we'll see what it looks like when we're all done. I got this space all watered in and I have to say I'm pretty happy with it. So as I was watering, I noticed that the pine did stay in place even with the water hitting it. So I think this is actually gonna be a great mulch. Stay tuned and we will find out for sure over this growing season. But thank you guys so much for hanging out in my garden with me today. May your garden be filled with grace and may you be abundantly blessed. We'll see you next time. Bye.